What's up, everybody? This is Kavi Daniel Paddock. Some of you know me by other names online, and this is going to be a really quick video. I know I'm known for my long videos, but this is going to be basically a workout you can do in under 10 minutes. And yeah, I'm on the ground right now because basically, sorry, I gotta hit this message. On the ground right now because this is where I can see the tree behind me. I'm going to show you how to use the tree as resistance. You don't even need the tree for most of what we're going to do, but you know, basically we're going to try this out. I'm going to demonstrate it to you so that you can get your workouts in as little time as you have available. 10 minutes I think is very reasonable for most people. So just check it out. There's a sequence that I'm doing which is a nitrous oxide dump. This is great for weight loss, really getting some of the additional chemicals that are built up during other heavier and more intense workouts to flush. And it's just great for all kinds of stuff. Plus it opens up the fascia, so it's kind of like a yoga, you know, like a yogic, it has a yoga quality to it. So anyway, check this out, all right? So we're at 1 minute, 15 seconds. We're trying to do this within 5 minutes. Oh, by the way, the rule is you do pretty intense movement for about a minute. You rest for about 20 seconds. You can stay relatively active, but you don't want to be doing that intense movement, and then move on to the next exercise. Okay, so check it out. We're going to start with squats. Here we go, number 1. Just getting your feet right here. So you want to have a very straight position in your lower body as you do this, okay? Feet forward, hip width apart. Cool. All right, so that was 40 seconds, and what I'm doing is 30 reps of each exercise, okay? So check it out. Okay, this one I'll do towards you. Same stance. One, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30. Woo. Okay, so that was 30 of these lateral raises, if you will. Okay, it's kind of, that's not quite a. We're going to do next. We're going to do a shoulder press without any weight. Here we go. How are you doing? All right, these are so intense that once you get into them, you're gonna find that basically you don't really need weight, okay? We're at 4 minutes. We've done 3 exercises. I started talking for a minute, so we're good. I'm gonna take a little bit longer because I'm starting to get winded. It's number 4. So basically what I'm doing, I'm going to do it again, that last one again, where I just pull each arm back once at a time. What we're doing here is we're actually releasing a lot of tension that builds up, especially when we have accumulated a lot of fight, flight, or freeze chemistry and tension in our bodies. Sorry about the noise. I'm at the edge of the park because the parks are officially closed, so I'm just trying to stay within the protocols. But anyway, the point is that when we do this, we're actually finishing the action that tends to build up, or the intuitive action that our body is trying to accomplish, which is to fight or run, right? And so when we pull back, we're actually releasing this tension that's built up right in the back here, right along the insides of the shoulder blades, which is, you know, obviously right next to the spine, therefore affecting a lot of our nervous system. You know, some people would argue that, I don't know the technical, medical and biological information on this, I can't remember it offhand, but as far as I remember, that also affects your heart and your ability for the heart to function properly. Obviously, those of us who are bending over a lot, I talk about this a lot with my clients, if we're spending a lot of time bent over, which most of modern life is about, you know, being on the computer, washing dishes, you know, cooking, picking up kids, all this kind of stuff. This can really accumulate, not just in terms of a curvature of the spine, but then obviously all the muscles that are working and atrophying and getting used to being in that position. So I'm going to show you again. Okay, so you can choose to do one or both. You can do the double pull or the single pull. And this is true with every exercise, right? If I want to separate, it's just going to create a different experience, give you a little bit more isolation, as is true when you know, divide up a two-handed exercise or a two-sided exercise. Okay, so that's good. We've got 4. I'm actually forgetting the 5th one, so I'll do 2 more at the tree here. Three more actually. All right, so here we go. This is great for the legs. We've actually been doing this. You know, we've been keeping the stance really sturdy. I'll show you the stance as I back away. The stance is for the upper body is important because it really keeps you stable, keeps you grounded, and it allows you to isolate the movements up top. So now we're going to work on the lower body a little bit, as well as other aspects of what we're doing. So the stance is just this. I'm on a hill, but I can still create a bit of a stance here that's similar, where my knees are pointed forward, they're in alignment with the ankles, with the hips, not too far apart, not too close together, right? And that gives us a really sturdy stance. I call it the fighting stance. It's a yoga stance, that kind of thing. All right, so here we go with the legs. It's number 5. Go a little lower if you want, if you feel more safe. All right, so that's got a little bit of a risk involved with it, if you will. You know, I was coming off the ground. You can do it with your feet on the ground. The whole idea is you want to get your leg involved, you want to engage, especially those upper muscles, because that's where you're getting your power from. And also, even while you're up in the air with one leg, it kind of gives you stability, not only on the standing leg, but also in terms of control, right? If you think about it, control is flowing down towards the extremities, out towards the extremities. So if you maintain a good core, or I should say if you use this to practice maintaining a good core, then you know you're already halfway there. The other part of it is just getting that dynamic movement to happen. When we're talking about our lower body, it's a little over 10 minutes here, but that's cool. We're talking about lower body. Lower body, as you know, but we don't think about a lot, it really keeps and maintains our sense of stability, our sense of uprightness, right? So now, last one, due to time, I'm just gonna do 2 different spinal exercises. One of them is going to be basically a downward dog, a standing downward dog against the tree. And what I'll do is I'll let that flow into something called the serpent, which is really just exercising and bending as many of the all the vertebrae, if you do it properly. You know, because each pair of vertebrae creates a joint, right? So we're talking about joint health, maintaining. We want to avoid allowing the body to stiffen up, and when we're talking about that concept, we have to take into account the fact that we've got so many different joints, especially with our spine. So this is first we're going to practice with the standing downward dog, maintaining a straight spine, allowing the energy and the focus and the stretch to really pull the crown of our head out, and the energy also to flow directly out our tailbone, so it creates a really nice through line. And this is, you know, obviously good for practicing maintaining good spine health while we're standing. It takes some of the pressure off of the spine because we're not standing upright, and so this gives us a chance to really stretch and pull, and you can kind of turn into a little push-up for dynamic movement, etc. And then the serpent is going to be pretty much working in the other capacity, which is the movement aspect of the spine. So check it out. Get up against the tree. This is a calm upward movement in the shoulders. All right, so that's that. First of all, I love just laying in the grass, so I hope you guys get a chance to get outside just lay in the grass too. There's nothing wrong with that, and God knows it's also healthy. There's a whole body of work on the benefits of nature bathing. So it's a beautiful day outside right here in Montclair, New Jersey, and I hope you enjoyed these couple exercises. I guess that was a total of 7 exercises. Again, I merged the last 2, so you know you can take a little break in between the 2. You can also do any of these as long as you'd like, right? So if you have areas where it's more sore, it's more stiff, you feel like you need some healing, to take place in those areas, just move them around a bit. You know, there's a lot of ways that you can move any one part of your body that engender this healing chemistry. What happens is there's not just a mind-body connection, there's also a body-mind connection. And as many of you heard me talk about, the body not only has its own wisdom, which has many names in different traditions, but for all intents and purposes, it's actually a lot smarter than your mind in terms of your health, your overall health, because it's really taking in information all the time. It's processing that, and it's sending you messages if you allow yourself to sit quietly long enough to hear them, because you know, the whole trick is to kind of allow the mind to just settle enough where you can hear what these messages are. That's known as interoception, or I should say that's known as somatic wisdom. And it may not come to your brain in the form of words. It may be pictures. You know, there's all kinds of ways that our body stores information. But again, if you look into the whole body of work on this, it's a very profound aspect of health, and it's part of the reason that yoga was designed in order to prepare the body for meditation. So those of you who say, oh, I can't meditate, I can't quiet my mind, well, that's the whole thing, is that if you give your body a chance to do what it has to do to work out its toxins and, you know, release all this stress in all the ways that it manifests, then you will have a lot easier time meditating, even if it's just for a minute or two. And even if that means just standing next to the tree. Actually, I'll close out the video by doing just that. You know, basically yesterday I started to do a slightly different exercise, is using the tree as my support system, just like you would at a wall. But with the tree, you got all this beautiful bark that can also, you know, get itself into the grooves of your muscles, and really, especially in the back, you know, it's an area that, unless you're getting a massage every day, or you got a partner that's willing to, you know, give you a nice rub down, you know, it may get trapped in there quite frequently. So thanks for joining me. I'll close out, like I said, with this final movement, and you'll see exactly what I'm doing. And it's just so great. It really opens up the hips, and my next video will actually be all about opening up the hips, because of the fact that it is so central, to our entire body. So, you know, it gives us a chance to investigate the connection point between our torso and our lower body. All right, so thank you again for joining me, and I hope you're staying healthy, and that, you know, you finding productive ways to spend your time in quarantine, or whatever it is you're doing. And got, you know, peace and blessings to all of you. All right, thank you.